YouTube? It's your boy K is a GOAT. Today I'm about to react to Ink Slasher, every unreleased Call of Duty game. Never seen this before, and I might not even heard of some of these titles. I know people been speculating about the upcoming Call of Duty titles, like we might get another Advanced Warfare or we might get another Call of Duty Ghost, but I'm curious to see what unreleased titles that I've never heard of, because they had these games in the back of their mind, but they just never decided to continue with it. So let's get straight into it.
Call of Duty has been around for over 20 years now, and with that we have seen the release of many different Call of Duty games. But one thing that I realized last year is that not only have we had 20 years of released Call of Duty content, we've also had over 20 years of unreleased Call of Duty content. One example I could give you of that is back last year, someone found data mined a cutscene that was never before seen at the end of the original Modern Warfare trilogy, leading us to believe that there may have actually been a Modern Warfare 4 in development. And these kind of deleted cutscenes, deleted scenes, deleted missions, maps, weapons, and even more have been found thoroughly since then for pretty much every single Call of Duty game. And if you'd like to see me dive further into more and more of this deleted content, show me by hitting that like button, subscribing, and we'll continue videos just like this one. But specifically for this video, I wanted to take a look at games that started to be developed that were never brought to fruition. Some of these were just brought up as concept, and others were actually developed fully with missions that we can actually see. This is essentially going to be 7 different Call of Duty games that were either beginning development or almost fully completed.
I'm about to turn closed captions on because I want to make sure I heard him right. He said 7.
Can actually see. This is essentially going to be 7 different Call of Duty games that were either beginning development or almost fully completed that never saw the light of day. Let me show you what I mean. One of the most iconic Call of Duty games of all time was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. This was the first Call of Duty game that pushed the series out of World War II and into modern combat.
I swear, bro, you listen to any old head that was like really on Call of Duty, they gonna say this was the shit right here. This, Black Ops 2, the original Black Ops, they gonna say all those games was the shit back in the day.
But here's the thing, during that time, Activision actually wasn't so confident that this was the right decision. They were hedging their bets with other studios, worried that the modern combat simulation that they created with Call of Duty 4 wasn't going to be something that people enjoyed. Well, it turns out they were really right about that, but an example of this is the next game that would come out, which was of
Are you really the last person to find out about the skip ads forever button? This is Pi, and if it sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you've seen their ads everywhere.
Don't get pissed.
Of course, Call of Duty World at War, which was developed by Treyarch, but that actually wasn't the only World War II game in development at that time. That is where the other development title by the name of Call of Duty Devil's Brigade comes in. Devil's Brigade.
They copied this off of a movie called Devil's Brigade. Mind you, I've never heard of this Call of Duty, but I know it's a movie called Devil's Brigade.
It was made by a studio that maybe you never heard of. In fact, it was actually 2 studios, one by the name of Z-Axis and one by the name of Underground Development. They worked on this game called Devil's Brigade. It was focused predominantly in Italy and France, and believe it or not, it was not a first-person shooter. This is not the only time you're going to hear this today, but this is when Activision was strongly considering diving into the third-person shooter genre. As we know, this never really happened aside from some modes here and there, but as a whole, they were thinking about it. Now, the other thing that this title toted was a little bit more strategy. Using the D-pad, you could direct your soldiers whether you wanted to sneak, where you wanted them to go, or what type of weapons you actually wanted them to use. Now, the story behind this game is basically a troublesome band of American troops, along with Canada's best troops, were working together inside of Italy and inside of France to fight these battles. It was based off of the 1968 movie by the title Devil's Brigade. hence the name. Now, some of the writing said that these soldiers, as they killed off enemies, they put stickers on the heads of their enemies and got the nickname the Black Devils. Now, of course, this never came to be. The title actually never got the green light. So the gameplay that you are seeing here today and that I am showing you was basically for a prototype of the game that they wanted to push moving forward. But like I said, it never got the green light from Activision because of the success of Modern Warfare. Now, from interviews made about this,
so basically this game was just an idea that was under development, but it stopped once Modern Warfare or Call of Duty 4 became like a super success. Okay.
This game, essentially there was only one mission that was ever created, and it was about defending bridges within Rome as Germany tried to invade, and you were there as America and Canada trying to stop what was going on. Hence what we're kind of seeing in the few screenshots that we actually have. Stealth and tactics were at the utmost, but this wasn't the only game where Call of Duty wanted to get tactical. This is where Call of Duty Tactics comes in. This was a prototype game made by Vicarious Visions, who we'll come back to in a second. This is quite literally a top-down tac-based Call of Duty game. It wasn't a first-person shooter. This wasn't a third-person shooter. Essentially, it was a spin-off. And unlike what we just saw, this is a game that wasn't in development for much time whatsoever. This was a game that they had an idea, taking the name of Call of Duty and putting it on a tactic-based game. Think XCOM, something along those lines, but it never got the green light whatsoever. And in fact, this wasn't the only time this happened to Vicarious Visions, because they also had another Call of Duty game they wanted by the name of Call of Duty Roman Warfare, which went way back in time, way past World War II, the Roman times, where you'd be fighting with spears, swords, bows, arrows, things along those lines. Think basically chivalry, but called.
Bruh, imagine they make a Call of Duty game, no guns, you just in that bitch fighting with swords, shields, bow and arrows. Shit, that's pretty much it. And shit, let's say they make a multiplayer and they make a fucking catapult, a kill streak. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that should be hilarious, but I don't think nobody would really buy it for real.
Call of Duty. Again, didn't get the green light whatsoever. So as you can clearly tell, there are a lot of games that didn't get very far into development. Let me show you one that did.
Delta Squad, this is Almighty. Hostiles in your area. Be alert. Got that. Easy target. Straight ahead. Contact. 4.
Never heard of this one. Let's see.
Look out the front.
It look like Ghost. That's what it really looks like. It look like Call of Duty Ghost.
This is Call of Duty Future Warfare, and no, it's not.
This was me, struggling to keep up with posting consistently on YouTube and getting less views than normal, until...
Not AI created, no, it's not fake. This was a game created by Neversoft, a studio that would work in conjunction with other Call of Duty studios, but never get to release their full game. Now, what's crazy about this is this game was to as close to releasing as I think any game ever has been for Call of Duty. There's cutscenes, there's cinematic moments, there is scenes that take place on Earth, and there are scenes that take place quite literally in outer space with zero gravity with exosuits. Now, the wildest part about all of this, if you ask me, is one, how far this is completed, and number two, how many of these things that are present in this game we would see forward in future Call of Duty games. Now, I want to be clear here, there is so much on this game out there that I could quite literally make an ending explained or story explained.
So, when you really think about it, this game really paved the way for games like Advanced Warfare and even Infinite Warfare. I would have said Black Ops 3, but he said exosuits, not the what the fuck was that shit called, DNIs that they had in fucking Black Ops 3 and 4. So yeah, this game right here really paved the way for Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare, because it involves exosuits and it's in outer space. So yeah.
video about this game that was never actually released. And if you'd like to see that, show me by hitting that like button. Let me know down in the comments, that kind of thing. Help out the algorithm. But as far as what we're looking at today, as I mentioned, this is like a fully fleshed out campaign. And yeah, I'm sure there's missions missing and things that don't quite make as much sense, missing polish, but it was all there. There was a full campaign here to take place in outer space. Not to mention, there was also multiplayer. In the files that have been released for this game, there was multiplayer maps, and
this is my last time pausing it. That scene right there also remind me of Call of Duty Ghosts, because if y'all ever played the campaign, you know some shit happened in outer space. Twice in the campaign, actually, because there's 2 missions where you go in outer space. It made sense if you got the concept of the story of why they were in outer space, but I would love to know the reason why in this Call of Duty why they were out of space, or the United States space station was getting attacked from outer space. Because knowing that it's a Call of Duty, it's definitely gonna have the United States involved.
Out of anything that we've seen from this game, it was by far the thing that was the least polished and the least finished, but hey, it was absolutely there. Now, this game was set to come out around the time that Call of Duty Ghosts was released, which kind of actually makes sense when you think about it, because following this up, we had games like Advanced Warfare, where we had exosuits and things like that, and then we had Infinite Warfare later on, which you can see a lot of this game in the inspiration for that one, with some of the set pieces on planets in outer space and things along those lines. As we saw, the game was never fully released. Now, this year, one of the questions I've been seeing more than ever is why at this point have we never got a zombies game, aside from really Zombies Chronicles, which wasn't its own game, that was just zombies? Well, at one point around 2011, 2012, this was actually pitched, and not by a studio that you may be thinking, not by Treyarch. It was pitched by Raven, the people who are kind of behind Warzone at this point. They created a game by the name of Project Z. Now, this only got like a week or 2 in development, and essentially the pitch behind this was a Call of Duty Zombies game that was a little bit more open world around the style of Mad Max. This is really all that was known about Project Z, but hey, it was never made, never released. As we know, Raven ended up doing some very, very different things. This last one is the one that I find the most interesting, because I truly believe that this could have changed everything for Call of Duty. If we go back around the time of Modern Warfare 3, there was a new studio opening up by the name of Sledgehammer Games. You see, they got 2
Damn that.
Crazy sounds in here.
2 people by the name of Michael Condrey and Glenn Schofield. Now, it was interesting because the game that they worked on before this was a little known game called Dead Space. Now, why is this important? Well, Call of Duty was once again dipping their toes into that third-person shooter, specifically a more third-person RPG open-world style shooter game. It was internally titled Fog of War and was to take place in Cambodia, Laos, and of course, Vietnam, hence the name of this game being titled Call of Duty Vietnam. Now, there was about 15 minutes of total gameplay made for this game, hence why we are able to see some of the images and in-game ideas that were created for Call of Duty Vietnam. However, at around this time, when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was being made and supported afterwards, there was a little disagreement from the founders of the studio, including Vince Zampella, who oddly is now the person who is in charge of the new Battlefield game that kind of got announced and talked about this week. There's a whole ballad between...
I plan on getting that. I don't know when, but I'm gonna get that Battlefield. I also plan on getting a new Mafia, what's it called, Old Country. I'm gonna be honest, I know I'm going way off topic, but I don't think that they're gonna release GTA 6. Cause you know Rockstar, it's like Playboy Cardi. They keep edging you on to when they're gonna release their project and then never do it. But hey, we gonna see.
Between Battlefield and Call of Duty and EA and Activision and Vince Zampella, that would be a fascinating video to make, and if you want to see that, show me by hitting that like button. But anyway, they left the Infinity Ward studio, and all of a sudden they needed help on Modern Warfare 3. So the Sledgehammer title of Call of Duty Vietnam got canceled, and they got forced to help build and create and finish Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And let's just say that wasn't the only time that this would happen. Now, this was just the beginning of Sledgehammer Games not getting to create their own games and having to work on the
one of the shittiest Call of Duties ever made. Niggas might knock on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, but I don't think it was as bad as Modern Warfare 3. Only reason niggas hated Modern Warfare 2 is because they didn't like the creative direction that Infinity Ward took with it. But with Modern Warfare 3, it's like they just said, fuck it, we gonna release a unfinished game and see how it does. And it was, oh man, where that copy at? Because I got it from my P5. It's on my table somewhere. Bruh, when I tell you I want to refund. Here it is right here. When I tell you I'm going to go back to GameStop one day, because my mom had got this for me. I didn't buy it myself. When I tell you I'm going to go back to GameStop and refund this shit, man, I don't care. I don't even care about the money. I give it to somebody. You know, no, I won't. I'm going to spend it on something else. That's how badly I hate this game, bruh.
The other studios' games. There's a long history of that, which again would be another fascinating video. But this was the history of unreleased Call of Duty games, and this is really just the tip of the iceberg. Other Call of Duty games have had maps, weapons, modes, missions, and cutscenes that were never released but have been found within game files. And if this is kind of a genre you'd like to see me cover more, show me by hitting that like button and let me know which Call of Duty game you would like to see deleted content from, because quite literally every game that has been released has had a ton of content that you probably have never seen. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. This has been a bunch of deleted Call of Duty games, unreleased, never before seen, whatever you want to call it. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thank you for being here. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. And until next time, peace.
Nah, he has a lot of videos on both his channels, as you see. But his main channel, which is what I'm reacting to, he does like a lot of story times and deep dives into a lot of the business and bullshit that goes on between gaming companies and whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much of what all it is. But yeah, that's pretty much been, that's really been it for this video. If you like it, like, comment, subscribe. It keeps me in the algorithm. It helps me grow. I will really appreciate it. And yeah, till next time, peace out.